All right, so today we coming to you with another episode of Auto Glass Tech Talk, and this person we got today needs no introduction. I'm sure all of y'all know him from his weekly motivation that he gives us. If you don't know the motivation he gives you probably know us from some of his baseball history and facts that he blesses us with weekly and damn near daily. So, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Big Sexy.
What is up, everybody? How you doing, man?
What's good, man?
Good morning. Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Chuck. What do you do? Where are you at? Give us some info.
All right. My shop's here in Camp Verde, Arizona. We're about in the center of the state is where we're at. We're about halfway between Phoenix and Flagstaff is what it is. So it's nice. It doesn't get too cold. It gets about only 5 degrees warm or cooler than Phoenix in the summer, so we don't get a whole lot of relief over here. I've had my shop for about, I'm going on my almost, I'll be in April to be my 19th year, and I've been in the business for about 34 years now.
Okay.
Congrats on that, man. 34 years, 19 in the shop. Congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, Chuck and I used to work at Safe Flight many moons ago. And,
that was starting out.
And Chuck was the first guy. You were the first one to open your shop, because you were before Robert, weren't you?
Yeah, but actually, yes, I was before Robert.
Yeah, so you're the Godfather, man. Don Hauser.
True.
Arizona.
Don Hauser.
Don Hauser.
Yeah, that Safe Flight, that 5-year stretch of, like, you could say, like, a Safe Flight produced a lot of quality independent shops. You know what I mean? That crew that you and I were with. Because you got Lorenzo out of there, you got Harmon out of there, you got Robert. I mean, there's a whole lot of people out of that one crew. Dave.
Yeah, there's a ton of guys that you remember. Gosh, forget what his name is. He had opened a shop too, left and came back, and then he came back here again and opened another shop. I forget what the heck his name was, but he used to work with us there too. So
because Dan Worsley, he had his shop, and Bob Wolf. I mean, geez, countless. I could probably think of like 15 independent shops that came out of one Safe Flight crew.
All right, Chuck. So I got a question for you, Chuck. So you're 34 years in the game, right? So give me 3 things that you still enjoy to this date about Auto Glass.
There you go.
I guess the first thing I really like, especially since I get out of the office, and I really do. I love getting out and doing work. I love getting out and doing work. I like being mobile and being outside. Right. I like the fact that I'm not stuck in an office or a cubicle and having to work. You see posts once in a while of me in the office, and all I do is complain, man. Because I really hate being in an office. I'd much rather be out doing something.
Right.
I guess that's the biggest thing I love. I guess independence of you doing my own thing. That is super. I mean, especially because I'm my own boss.
Right.
Anybody that's in this thing has got to tell you, being your own boss that's a huge plus.
Priceless.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Absolutely. And honestly, I know Ricky. He always says he hates people, and he posts. But I'm a people guy, man. I don't mind talking. You can tell, man. I love talking to people, So I guess that's the other thing. I get to see people and meet everybody from all gamuts, man, from one end to the other. So it's just kind of, you always have those people that are not into it, or into you.
Totally.
Yeah.
But for the most part, man, everybody is pretty cool about, especially when I go out to see, we go out as a shop together, if I go out with another guy, my other guy or something, it's kind of nice, I mean, people say hi and they're pretty friendly and,
And they see the presence of Big Sexy and are like, damn.
yeah, there you go.
Oh, well, shit, when you got Big Sexy and Rusty together, holy hell.
Yeah, the guy that works for me, Rusty, he's about 6 years younger than I am, but he's a big boy. He used to be a power lifter, kind of like
Crow.
Yeah.
Bro, yeah.
He reminds me a lot of Crow. Rusty and Crow, they could sit down and talk for hours, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, he came into this business green. He didn't have a clue. So I pretty much trained him, and he's a really good installer now. I mean, he's turned out to do a really good job, and I'm thankful for that, because I don't know about you guys, but so many times you see, especially when you're training guys from the get-go, you put all your time and effort into them, and then boom, they go out on their own, which I don't begrudge anybody, but a lot of times, I want everybody to be better themselves in some way. That's great,
Right.
You hate to see it, especially if it's somebody that's so green. He's stuck around, and he's as far as I know, he plans on staying. So that's kind of a good thing.
Well, when I went to your guys' shop and did the Pro Set demo, just my little interaction with Rusty then in a work setting, he's very attentive and concerned and cared and wanted to ask questions and wants to learn. So it's always a good sign.
Yeah, that's hard to find now.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Now, hey,
in general,
I want to segue into something just so some of the younger guys can understand some of the crap, Chuck, that you and I went through. You said training and talking about training people. And this is perfect because the guy who was my very first trainer, because he works up by you, Mr. Kenny. Mr. Kenny. So how he works. And if that was the very first experience that I had being trained by somebody, the guys today have no idea how good they got it when people actually want to train them correctly and know correctly and the learning tools.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All the stories I've heard, wasn't Chuck the one guy who actually helped you and gave you the right advice?
No, Chuck has always been one of the guys who's always helped me. Honestly, because there's been a lot of guys who tell me wrong shit, and Chuck never did that.
Oh my gosh, those guys used to. I could never understand it. Why would you want the guy? I couldn't understand why they wanted to fail, make him fail. I never got it, man. They would always send him down the wrong path, and I just never understood it. It wasn't. They thought it was a big joke, but in the long run, man, all it was going to do was cost him more money and time. You know what I mean? And the company was going to suffer because of it.
That was Auto Glass 25 years ago. So,
all right. So talking about like training people and stuff like that, right? So let's start with you, Chuck. If you had to give someone advice, like all the time in the group, we got new people getting in, they looking for advice or looking for pointers. What's one of the biggest pieces of advice you could give someone new starting out in the industry?
Try to stay up to date with these new tools, man. Definitely. I'm telling you, being an OG like I am, the stuff I learned with, man, I'm telling you, the stuff that we have today, if I wouldn't have, I'm convinced that if I wouldn't have diversified and started using these newer tools like a bat or a spider or the Pro Set or whatever setting tool or wire tool or cutout, method you're using that's better than pulling on a cold knife or just beating yourselves up, man, make sure that you are just properly schooled on this new stuff coming out.
That's what's up.
It's gonna make your career so much. The longevity of your career is gonna be so greater that it's just so much greater that by all means that's the way to go.
Right. So what kind of advice you would give, Drift? Like, what's one big piece of advice you could give someone?
As far as training goes, and
All right, just getting started, just in general, whether it's training or just something to keep in mind, starting out new to auto glass.
kind of on the same line there, like learn the tools. I mean, it's kind of like I try and jump into like different hobbies and shit all the time, and I'm like the all in type of person. I don't really I don't do like the just let me try it out real quick. I just dive right in, and like when you're looking at these other industries and stuff to try out, you're always looking for like, oh, what's the best tools I can get? What's the top of the line stuff. So I think that definitely is number one, is just getting the right tools, making sure you're gonna be efficient with those tools.
Gotcha. What kind of advice you had, Jeff?
A couple things. One is something that I know most people, even guys that are veterans, take for granted, and that is knowing your value. We are a skilled trade industry. We do things that other shops, other mechanics, other people in the same industry have to call us to do. So we're a specialty. Why undervalue your ability and your training and your everything you put into it? I don't know any other industry in automotive that cheapens itself as much as auto glass does. We undervalue ourselves drastically. Yeah. And then also something that I just have grasped in the last few weeks, honestly, because of situation changes, is think outside the box a little bit. I wanted to pigeonhole myself in a little section of our industry, just work on certain type of cars and this and that. And it worked great when everything was moving great. And then 2020 came and pimp slapped the whole world. So now I'm doing stuff that I don't like to do, but I have to do.
Right.
Like doing a Caterpillar loader at 6 o'clock at night and doing Peterbilts and everything else I swore I would never do. Now I'm doing. So, it's either, keep moving or get left behind. So.
Right.
I have to say he's right. And I would add that, diversify, man. I mean, you got to be able to do other things. That's like I'm doing. I mean, not only know how to put some windows in and do auto glass, but know how to do chip repairs and know how to do headlight restoration. And I mean, that's why I just purchased that kit.
Yeah.
We got to do other things to make money, especially right now.
Yeah.
Because our industry, I mean, with nobody driving, that means nobody's going to be on the road getting rocks. That means nobody's breaking windshields. Right. That means we're making the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to do something else to keep it going, man.
Yeah, and then even diversifying, like if you do other things, for example, you do headlight restoration, that doesn't take away from your auto glass business. You know what I mean? That's not going to take money off the table from you. That's just going to help you generate more revenue. So a lot of services you can offer, even offering windshield repair, doesn't take away from your replacement business. So diversification, your value, training, like that's all great insight for new people starting out, man.
Definitely. Absolutely. I'm going to add on to what you said there too about it not being like affecting your current income and everything, and it adds to it because you get the repeat customers, and sometimes their windshield may not break for a few years, but they might get a chip. They might get their headlights might need restoration, all kinds of little stuff like that. It's just,
I mean, back to the chip repairs. There's so many guys who say chip repairs are a waste of time and a waste of money. Yep. I don't advertise replacements. I advertise chip repairs because chip repairs turn into replacements.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So, and it's
someone else do their chip. And then now, you presented this whole thing to them. Now you got the customer for the next chips, the next windshield, next headlights, everything.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Now that's what's up. So let's go to something that you just posted recently, Chuck. I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday. You was gonna work on the RV. So give us the scoop on how that went down.
So we got it done, and I got pics, and I just haven't posted them yet, but we got the job. That was a rough one. That's one of the things in my area. I'm one of the few guys that still does them. there's only maybe 2 shops in my direct area that will actually do motorhomes, and I'm one of them. And those were some big shields, man. They were like 48 inches tall by like 63 inches wide.
Wow.
And they had big curb on them. So they were rubber set, which was kind of nice. But we got to putting the thing in, and because of the way the drastic curve is at the top, it kind of bends around the corner of the coach.
Mm-hmm.
I started putting the thing in like normal, and I got the bottom in, and I'm looking in the top, and we get to the very corner over there, and it's too tight because it pushes it up over the rubber. And let me tell you, man. So I'm sitting there going, "You got to be kidding me! What the heck?" So I sat back, and after I said a couple nice fancy words,
right,
I sat back and said, "All right, this is what we got to do." So we actually had to end up pulling the bottom of the thing out, kicking it out, pull the bottom out that I already had in, kick it out, and it brought the top down, which let me hook that top in, and then I do it. Because normally you do bottom and then top. Well, at least that's how I've always done it. And some guys do it the other way. Some guys do top then bottom, but most of the time I do bottom then top. And so I just had to go kind of backwards from what I was used to. But after we did that first one, the first one kind of got me a little bit, but the second one went right in. So, but there's money to be made in those, man. Those are money makers because there's no nags or anything like that to be done on those. So, I mean, if you can do them, I suggest doing them because there's some money in them, man. There's really that and old cars. I am literally one of only 2 people in my whole valley that do old cars that I'm aware of, because we get the phone calls all the time, as far as I know. And I do that old stuff. Like I post, the last one I did was that old 62 Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing another one, a Mustang coming up here really quick too. But I tell you what, and I didn't used to get as much as I do now, but I realized, you know what, man, the money I can make doing regular windshields, doing one of those old cars takes time.
Right.
And
tedious.
Money that I'm missing out on by doing one of those older cars, I could do 2-3 jobs by the time I get that one job done. So instead of selling like Jeff said, instead of selling yourself short, the value of what you do and what we do.
Skilled trade.
Yeah. When I tell the guy going into it, most of these guys, I tell them straight off, guess what? This is not going to be cheap. You can probably find this from somebody else that's going to tell you or quote you a little cheaper price, but I guarantee it's not going to be done the right way, and I'm going to do it the right way. Yeah. And most of those guys, especially if they're serious about their cars, they're like, sounds great to me, man. Let's do it.
Yeah. Right.
You're the way I want to go. And so, yeah, I mean, that's one of those. I love doing motorhomes, and the older cars, like I said, they do take some time. Mm-hmm. And Drift and I were talking about this, but there's a satisfaction of completion when you get those things done, man, because they look so good. And especially if the car's been restored or whatever, and you see it and it's kind of put back to its beauty the way it was when it rolled off the manufacturer's line,
Man, you're putting on that final touch most of the time. A lot of times, when we do, because I do a lot of body shop stuff, so one of my accounts does a lot of old schools, does a lot of full restoration. So I go pull the glass out when it's, big old hunk of junk, got, hole in the quarter panel, pinch welds rusted to hell. And I come back and now there's this, totally beautiful car, like painted so nice. And I'm the last one. He's like, here, all we got to do is put the glass in and it's ready to go. Like, it's a good feeling. You really accomplish something. And, when you do it the right way,
Yeah. Nah, that's what's
Yeah,
up.
I got a Monday. I got a '57 Dodge truck. I'm rebuilding the vents, putting the regulators back in, door glasses, and a back glass in it.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
And it was fresh out the booth. So we'll see how this is. It was dusty and in a dark garage, and it looked wet. So I'm sure this paint's pretty deep.
Yeah, it's gonna look nice. All right, cool. So I got another question for all y'all now, right? So recently in the group, I think the guy's name is Ricky, but I can find other posts. I tag him who made the comment, but he was asking about shoes. What kind of shoes people wear when they work? So since y'all all been at it for a while, we'll start with you, Jeff. Over the years, what kind of shoes have you actually worn for work?
Well, I've never been a boot guy, so I've never worn boots, steel toes, anything like that to work. It's always
Lundy?
tennies.
Okay.
What'd you say, Lundy?
Yeah.
I heard steel boots, steel
Yeah,
cap.
Lundy. Screw his steel toes. You can keep that shit.
So you just always wear like tennis shoes?
I always wear tennies. Yeah, I mean Air Maxes, Chucks. I mean Vans, skater shoes, all kinds of shit. But usually it's tennis shoes. Right now I'm wearing bouncing between New Balance and my Chuck Taylors.
Okay. So New Balance, Chucks. Okay, cool. What about you, Drift? What kind of shoes have you worn over the years?
Everything. I've tried everything. Boots, high boots, low boots, tennis shoes, like all kinds of stuff. But I think my main go-to is like a decent pair of like running shoes.
Okay.
Just because the soles on them are a lot better. I definitely like the sole, and as much as I don't like the ones that are like meshy that you kind of like you feel the wind through.
Yeah.
Man, those are like some of the most comfortable.
Yeah, they be the most comfortable kind. Yeah.
I run through them so quick, like 3 months done, and a pair is totally done from working, but they're comfortable as hell.
Yeah. What about you, Chuck? Over the years, what kind of shoes have you worn?
I started out in this business. I started out in a full service shop, so we had to wear jeans and we had to wear steel toe boots, and so when I first started, I wore Red Wings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I moved to Arizona, and that was back in Illinois, but when I moved to Arizona, I'm pretty much a tennis shoe guy, man. I wore Merrells for a while, like hiking boot looking, but they were like low top kind of Merrell or 3/4 top.
Yeah.
But they were still, it was just a glorified tennis shoe. But dude, I sport New Balance all the time. I mean, that's what I have on now, and I pretty much wear New Balance pretty much all the time.
Yeah, New Balance actually got some comfortable shoes, and they got like some running kind of shoes. They had like this thing called Cool Foam that is actually really comfortable.
Yeah.
The ones I got are actually trail running shoes.
Yeah.
So they have a little bit of tread on them.
Mm-hmm.
So in Arizona, we don't have to worry about cold, but you have to worry about the radiant heat off the floor. So if you can get your foot off the floor a little bit, it helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, I wear shorts year round, so I don't. I mean, I wear tennis shoes with my shorts.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you. For everybody else who watching the video, comment below or drop a picture of whatever you actually wear for your shoes. That'd be interesting to see and know what everybody wearing, so everybody can find like a comfortable pair of shoes.
What about you? You travel all over.
Oh shit, I travel. I wear so my thing is I wear bright color shoes. I wear my most comfortable pair of shoes over the last couple of years have been Adidas Ultra Boost. They probably the most comfortable I've worn, but I've worn anything like New Balance, Nike. I like Air Max, the Vapor Max. So I'm tennis shoes.
Didn't you have some bright ass green joints on at SEMA?
Yeah, I had some bright. There was some.
I remember
neon green.
Yeah, neon green. So they were Nike. They called Nike Flyknit RN is what they were called. But yeah, they bright. I wear bright color shoes and shit. Bright color shoes, jeans, and a hoodie, man.
There you go.
Yep, year round. It don't matter if it's summertime. I still got a hoodie on, man. I wear a hoodie year round. Yep. So let's switch gears a little bit here, Chuck. And talk some baseball, man. I know you like a real baseball fan and bless us with a lot of baseball knowledge. So I got a question, and you and Jeff can answer this, and it's a good question for you, right? And I don't think it's a wrong answer. If you got to get a base stolen, are you going Ricky Henderson or Deion Sanders? And we'll start with you, Jeff. Who you gonna pick?
Well, I'm. Can I freelance?
Go for it.
Because I'm taking Vince Coleman. That's who I'm taking. I'm taking Vince Coleman because, man, that dude, he was fast out the gate, you know?
Okay.
So I remember the Cardinals, and Chuck can remember the Cardinals from the mid '80s. That team they had, he was lightning fast.
Absolutely.
So I think I'm going with Vince Coleman.
Okay, what about you, Chuck? Who you going with?
If I'm gonna stay on your two guys,
Yeah.
which I'll stay that I'm gonna pick Ricky Henderson.
Ricky, okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that dude. Part of me is I mean, I was a huge A's fan back in the day, and back when they had the Bash Brothers and all that, you know, and Ricky was part of that gang, you know, and I mean, I think Dion is the man's a phenomenal athlete, but
Yeah.
I just think Ricky Henderson was just a true craftsman at his trade, and that's what he did, man. He stole bases. There was just no getting out around it. The man got caught a lot too.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, but to get caught, you got to attempt to steal a lot. So
No risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah.
there you go. And he was doing it a lot. He was trying, you know, he was putting it out there a lot to steal bases. So I'll say Ricky.
All right. Well, that's what's up.
Ricky being Ricky.
Cool. So over the time of baseball, who's like your favorite baseball team, like over the years? Like, or who's your team that you follow?
Well, come on, Chuck, you traveling, man. You're the one bouncing around. So
I know. I grew up a Cubs fan, so I'm always going to be a diehard Cubs fan. But now that I live here in Arizona, I'm a diehard Diamondbacks fan. I love the Diamondbacks. I really do. And anytime we can beat LA, damn, I love it.
That's what's up. So what about you? So Jeff, you basically follow everything Arizona, right? Cardinals.
well, yeah. When I was a kid, we didn't have the D-backs. We had AAA baseball,
Yeah.
and we had the Giants AAA affiliate. So I grew up a Giants fan because I saw guys like Matt Williams play minor league ball, and Kevin Mitchell, and all kinds of Will Clark play minor league ball.
Yeah.
So I grew up a Giants fan, and then when we got the D-backs, you know, I became a D-backs fan, and so. But yeah, Arizona all day, man. It's, you know.
That's what's up.
It's, you know, I'm a hometown guy. You gotta, you know.
You gotta root for the home team, man.
Even when Jordan, his hype. I mean, I was, you know, a kid, high school. There, his hype is still Suns. Still gotta, you know, hometown all day.
Yeah.
I will say this: right now, when the Diamondbacks are playing the Cubs, I still do root for the Diamondbacks. You know, I live here, and that but I am a Cubs. I'll cheer the Cubs on when they're playing other people. So
Yeah. Nah, that's what's up. So last question before we get everybody out of here, and we start with you on this one, Drift. What's on your playlist right now? So in between jobs, or if you work in a job and you got to listen to something, whether it's a podcast, an audiobook, a song, name some things on your playlist.
All right now.
Yeah.
You know, me and you both, we listen to a lot of new stuff, kind of stay a little current with music.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm in I don't know what year it really is, I guess, but on a Webby,
Okay.
and a little boozy phase, not badass boozy,
Yeah.
Lil Boozy, you know, and Webby, the real, that original,
Yeah.
you know, Baton Rouge shit.
Okay.
yeah.
So what about you, Jeff? Name some stuff on your playlist, man.
Well, I'm going to shock a lot of people, but right now I'm currently listening to a lot of Yacht Rock.
Okay.
I've been listening to 70s bullshit Yacht Rock, like Christopher Cross and the Eagles and stuff like that. So I don't even turn the news on. Like, I have it as soon as I get in my van, my iPhone goes right to the sync. I don't even want to hear the news. I don't want to hear sports. I don't want to hear anything because it's all so negative and bullshit and everything. So
Right.
I just want to take it back to my childhood, cruising around with my mom in the car, listening to the music I grew up as a little kid on, and just don't forget about everything else going on in the world.
That's what's up. So Chuck, you the man who posts songs. You get me going on some of your songs, man. You had Rick James playing one day, and you be all over with your music. So name some things on your playlist, man.
Yeah, I'm a pretty wide spectrum of. I listen to, I mean, anything you can, everything. Being that I was in high school in the '80s, so I'm a huge '80s fan. I mean, I listen to a lot of '80s stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We stay more current. I'm, I, I still, I love Five Finger Death Punch. Love those guys. Those guys are solid. I tell you what, man, if you got to listen to some rock, those guys are it, man. I love those guys.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of AC/DC, but then again, dude, I listen to Prince. I listen to it. Doesn't. I mean, as you've seen me post before, I listen to all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
Purple Rain was a killer album, man. I'll have to tell you, that was an unbelievable album.
All right, so I'm on the road next week, Chuck. So here's one for you. So me and Monique, we're gonna be on the road next week between Austin and Houston. So we're gonna be riding. So give us a good car karaoke song we can karaoke to.
Oh, for the two of you, huh? You gotta figure this out. But see, I need to know what do you guys really dig? I want to get something that you know.
We listen to anything. Like Monique listens to a lot of country. She listens to everything, really, but we listen to anything.
Man,
we from Kenny Rogers to Rick James to Prince to Spice Girls, man. We all over the place.
Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton, Islands in the Stream. There you go. There's a good one.
I would die. I would love to see you and her doing some car karaoke of some Spice Girls.
Spice Girls. There you go. So we'll do a little karaoke next weekend. To anybody in the group, if you and I between Austin and Houston, hit us up. We're gonna actually be on the road between Austin and Houston. We'll stop by, see you, check you out, show you some AGT stuff. So hit us up.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'll get some barbecue.
Yeah, we're going to get some good food for sure. So we're going to eat barbecue and find something fun to do and do a little training in the Houston area, man.
I guarantee you get you a big boy steak back there, man.
I miss Texas.
Yeah. Now, the food always been good out there, whether it's barbecue, Tex-Mex. Shit, I ain't never had a bad meal in Texas thinking about it.
I want to go to Texas and eat that place called the Salt Lick. I want to eat there so bad.
Salt Lick?
Yeah, I've been to the Salt Lick. I went to the one like out in the woods. It's like in the middle of nowhere, and you got like cafeteria tables, and in the middle is like a big fire, and it was all you can eat lunch.
I've never been there. I've seen stuff online. The meat that place cooks. Oh my God.
You've seen it, Chris. It has like a big pit in the middle, and they have all the meat cooking around this big pit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a big brick. It's like a brick pit, and it's got shit hanging on it and over the fire.
Yeah. Now, it's real good if you go eat there in person. Like, if you ever go, like, through the airports and they got, like, the little restaurant in the airport food ain't as good as, like, sitting down in the places in Texas, but, like, they real solid.
Hey, you know what? I've been in a lot of airports. Houston's airport has probably got the best food out of every airport I've ever been to.
One.
Yeah, Houston and Dallas got good food. Like, they got a Papacitos, a Papados. They got a lot of shit in the airport.
In the airport. Papados in the airport. What the hell?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm getting meat sweats just thinking about it.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about some good shit. So let's end on this. What y'all doing for lunch today? Y'all, like, bought your own lunch, or y'all, like, stopping somewhere? What about you, Jeff? We'll start with you.
Well, I have a meeting with our brand new Seeker rep today, so I am getting some lunch courtesy of Mark O'Brien and Mike Stevens. So I think we're probably gonna go to this place called Grimaldi's, which is like a gourmet pizza place.
Okay.
Pretty bomb pizza. So it's like you go there and like a pizza's like $40. So it's not like a normal pizza place. So it's fire. It's bomb ass food. So that's my lunch today.
That's what's up. Congrats to Mike and good luck with the lunch today. What about you, Drew? What you doing for lunch today?
Man, I'm gonna have to stop at somewhere to get some meat today now.
Crispy crunchy chicken.
Yeah, crispy crunchy chicken. That's a hood spot right there.
Hey, their chicken strip's fire though, man.
The hood.
Their chicken strip's fire though, man.
It is. It's like the best like cheap fried chicken.
Hey, remember we saw that shit in Florida at a fancy old resort, and they had a crispy crunchy chicken.
Crispy crunchy chicken, yeah. So you gonna probably do some chicken for lunch, man?
Oh man, some chicken or some steak.
All right, that's what's up. What about you, Chuck? What you doing for lunch?
Believe it or not, I don't usually eat lunch, man.
Oh, you know?
I usually do like breakfast, and I do it, and then of course we do dinner at home. So
okay, well, what you have for breakfast this morning, or what you gonna eat for breakfast?
chances are that I'm a diehard Filiberto's dude, man. I think I'm gonna go get a burrito over it.
That's what's up. Yeah. So for me, shit, I be around the house since I work from home. So I got leftovers. So I had some beef and broccoli last night. So we had leftovers for lunch. So I'm going to starve myself till next week when I'm on the road and shit. I'm probably gaining 10 pounds in Texas eating.
Oh, shit. I gained 10 pounds in Texas.
Yeah. So that's what's up, man. Well, we appreciate all y'all for y'all's time, the insight that all y'all have given us. So we appreciate that. And we hope it helps somebody, man, because the whole thing is if you know better, you do better. So appreciate y'all and appreciate the time.
Right on.
Thanks, guys. Hey, remember, everybody, stay sexy.